Welcome back to COVID Kitchen. I am working on a side dish for today's meal, which is surf and turf. I'm doing mashed potatoes for the side dish. Perfect mashed potatoes according to the recipe. So a couple of techniques just to start off with. Normally in the past I've cubed my potatoes before they were boiled and I've dropped them in a hot water, but I'm going to use the recommendation from Chef John, who the recipe belongs to, and just cut them lengthwise as you can see here. And I'm going to drop them into cool water with 2 tablespoons of salt. Let them cook but not come to a rolling boil. Just actually let the water get warm and the potatoes firm enough, but not the rolling boil. One of the reasons why he says not to cut these into small chunks is because you end up with a bunch of smaller pieces that are kind of uneven. They cook unevenly and they can create like a starchy water at the end. The ingredients for this are super simple. As you can see, I've got my potatoes peeled and sliced in half lengthwise here. I've got butter and I've got milk. I've got some salt and pepper, and it's just that basic. The thing that makes mashed potatoes really delicious or really horrible and gooey kind of is really the technique. So today I'm going to be using an old school potato masher to mash my potatoes. No KitchenAid, no hand mixer, and at the end, the process when I season them, I'm just gonna whip them lightly with this. That's gonna give me a nice fluffy mashed potato that's not overly mashed or overly whipped. Here's my pot of water that I'm gonna be putting my potatoes in. I've already added 2 tablespoons of salt to this water. That's gonna get nicely absorbed into the potatoes when they cook. I'm not gonna let this water come to a rolling boil. I'm gonna let it get hot, but not boil to that degree. And then when the potatoes are nice and soft, I'll pull them out and I will put them back in the pot after draining it and let the excess moisture from the potatoes just cook down for like 30 seconds to a minute, just so I don't end up with a runny mashed potato product at the end. We're back to the perfect mashed potatoes recipe. My potatoes have softened and I have gone around the pot a couple times with my masher in a straight up and down motion. I then added my butter and then did another round with the masher after adding the butter. Then I added my cup of milk. It's actually about 3/4 of a cup of milk I'm going to start with. I've added my salt and white pepper, and now I'm just going to kind of whisk that, get a nice fluffy potato at the end here. So here we are. This is the finished product, the perfect mashed potatoes. I did end up using an entire cup of milk for mine as I was whisking them in the pot, and I like the texture and the consistency that I came up with here. They're very beautiful, substantial mashed potato, and when you're doing that last step, you can season it with your salt and pepper or white pepper to taste. I've added a couple pats of butter here at the end. I'm just gonna let that sit and melt down on these beautiful potatoes until it's time to serve dinner. Very simple, very easy recipe. Again, I just think at the end of the day, the thing that goes wrong with mashed potatoes oftentimes is just over mixing them, over beating them, and using an electronic device makes that very easy to do. A simple 2 or 3 minutes of mashing with a hand masher gets the job done and gets you a nice finished product.